to go down to Tuesdays and Thursdays at 1 p.m., but I do appreciate that you're here with me. The reason I started the Plant-Based Business Hour weekdays at 1 p.m. is because I'm concerned that people aren't making the connection between eating meat and the meat-borne pandemics that we have now, such as COVID-19. But it's not the only meat-borne pandemic. There's SARS and MERS and mad cow disease. Swine fever is raging through China. So there are healthier options for our food supply, and a healthier, safer food supply ultimately means a healthier, safer future. And as we're all stuck at home, can't move, don't have a job, I think these things are weighing on us. And I want people to think of their food source as a way to a better future. So a call out to all the small businesses, the veg startups, but also a call out to the investors that might want to cha-ching, make some good coin, because this is where the future is going. It's plant-based, and there's a lot of money to be made here. So it's not only the solution, it is a moneymaker. And for all you consumers out there, thank you for always using your dollars to reflect your voice, because you do have a choice when you buy your food, and when you vote with your dollars, you really will see a change in the world. So what is the world up to right now? Well, it has been a dicey week, and I am here with the editor-in-chief of VegWorld magazine, Courtney Garza. She is going to help me break down all the news that has happened this week. Courtney, thanks for being with me.
Hi, great to
Hi.
be here. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on for sure in the vegan world, and we're happy to cover it, especially the good news. You know, there's so many great vegan brands out there that are taking action, vegan celebrities, just really trying to make a difference and create a positive change. So
It is. I have to say, it's a wonderful time to be alive. I
there we
really
go.
feel that in my lifetime, we are going to see a shift along the lines of it used to be horse and buggy, and now there's a car, and you would never think twice. Nobody types on a typewriter. They use something called a computer, and nobody really stands in line for a stamp. They use something called the interweb. And I think, 20 years, and maybe not even that, 10 years out, I think younger generations are going to say, I can't believe they ate animals and they did that to animals.
Can't wait for that.
I can't wait for that. That's
Can't wait
absolutely
for
right. Well, okay, so it has been a dicey week. Of course, everyone's still living in COVID times. I'm going to bring up the first of a major topic here, and that is, and I get this from Vegconomist magazine, but also right here on this channel, Jane Unchained. Jane herself has talked to union representative Kim Cordova, but the headline from Vegconomist is Smithfield Foods in Sioux Falls pork processing plant closed until further notice due to the coronavirus outbreak. And that has been true for Tyson and JBS and some other plants. So I don't know if VegWorld has covered this at all, but I want to read a little bit if I can, for those of you to catch up on the headlines.
Yeah.
And I'm going to see if I can't bring in this tricky business, as I'm an editor for this, as well as, let's see if I can bring in, here we go. Here's the headline from Vegconomist. Okay. According to AP.com, Smithfield Foods announced Sunday that it had closed its pork processing plant in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, until further notice after hundreds of employees have tested positive for coronavirus. The plant employs about 3,700 people in the state's largest city and has become a hotspot for infections. So the publication The Hill, which is not a vegan publication at all, it's a political publication, of course, says that a Missouri plant which produces spiral hams receives raw material from Sioux Falls, and that a worker at that plant, which was closed indefinitely on April 12th, has died from coronavirus. The Hill goes on to say that meat processors like Tyson Foods, Cargill, and JBS have also closed, and that 2 employees from Tyson Foods, Columbus Junction, Iowa pork processing plant have also died, and that the plant in Columbus Junction has 141 confirmed cases, and that's as of yesterday.
Wow.
So what is your take on the spread of coronavirus through these factories and what the change might be forthcoming?
It's hard, because I think there's just this big message that is screaming from these factories, and it's something that should have been listened to a long time ago. I don't even think there's a date on it per se, but this is purely meat derived, animal derived. These animals should not be in these conditions, and we should not be ingesting them after they're in these conditions, or at all, really. To be completely blunt and honest, but I think the writing, I guess, is on the walls of these factories, and that's we should shut them down. I mean, I know obviously logistically that's not something that can be done overnight or even in a week or in a month. These factories are all over the US and obviously the world. So I think it's just going into practices like a lot of farmers go to. I've seen countless documentaries of chicken farmers, for example, just finding other ways to turn their farms or their factories, whatever it is, into plant farms, plant sources. And it
Mm-hmm.
can be done. It can be done. Yes, of course, it's an arduous process. It's going to take a while. It's going to be a lot of money. But is the money really worth it when all of these people are suffering? Either they're having this terrible disease take them over for a number of time, or they're dying. I mean, it's just, is the money really worth it? Is the capitalism really worth it? It's not.
Well, I would say I really wonder if there's that much money there. So meat and dairy function on very small margins. They exist really due to subsidies. They really need those subsidies to continue to go because there's not really that much money to be made there. And then when we look at the economic toll on our country with the $3 trillion coming out to citizens who have lost their jobs. And, we're not even talking about the tax revenue that the government isn't getting because we're all not working, et cetera. So I really wonder, when you look at that broader equation, is there really any economic benefit? And then when you look at the environmental costs, and then when you look at the human toll, because this is not the first meat-borne pandemic, but it's the first one in a long time that has had this kind of devastation. And we really don't know when it's going to end. Medicine being much more of an art than a science. And I love you, all my doctors and nurses out there, doing everything that you can. I'll just highlight, and then we'll kind of switch off because we do have a bunch of stuff to talk about today. But I'll just say that you're right. And I love that you bring up from the business perspective. It really, just to all the vegans out there who want it to happen tomorrow, it is a process. And I do want to say, and this might upset some vegans, I do give a shout out to Cargill, to JBS, to Tyson, to Maple Leaf. As they start to focus on plant-based foods, they start to invest in those factories that can produce different product lines. And as we pull back on meat, and we're going to have to do that now because of the infected workers working in these close confines, as we pull back on meat, we can up the plant-based production, because you do need more than Beyond Meat to make it happen. You got to have more than just that. So as we make that shift, I actually think, that's hard to say there's a silver lining here. I don't think I can say that, and I don't mean that. And my heart goes out to anyone suffering, and in a way we're all suffering, but some are suffering more than others. I do think that we're going to come out stronger and more positive with a healthier food source, with a safer food source, and down the line, that's really better for the planet and all of us. So, and by the way, to the Smithfield exec out there who said that this might put the food supply in danger, I will say that vegans have always lived on rice and beans and high fiber, high protein foods, and didn't ever need pork. Don't ever need it. So we're not worried. We are thriving and we're not worried. But you have kind of, I'll throw it to you. You've got some fun headlines. What's the one that you'd like to talk about?
Yeah. Speaking of businesses making a change, my goodness, I'm sure we've all heard of No Evil Foods. They're phenomenal products. They're so great. I mean, you want a vegan version of a meaty chicken or sausage or something like that. I am so happy to say that they're a company that's proving that, one, vegan food is delicious, vegan alternatives, but also that they extend their power beyond their ingredients to the way that they use their food for good. And that is by donating process, kind of all of their proceeds, but also their actual product to people affected through COVID. And just a few weeks ago, too, we covered them because they gave a lot of their produce to animal activists out there, working hard at vigils or different kind of protest. But they also are out on the front lines giving food to those that truly need it. Nurses, just hospital workers in general, or people that are, having to work at the grocery stores. And it's just such an incredible story. I mean, they don't need to do this. They certainly don't. They could be just promoting their products and buying it right now. But no, they took it upon themselves to go the extra mile to really make a change for these people. It's amazing.
Yeah, I love that their mission really aligns with their bottom line. So, they're interested in making a change for our food supply, but they're also, they're helping out people who need it in COVID-19 times. So, and I see in this picture now, I've made it smaller in the middle, but I see some of my favorite activists hanging out there. Shout out to Ellen Dent and those wonderful folks. So I will just say to the founders of No Evil Foods, you are always welcome on the Plant-Based Business Hour. And I know that you're very busy right now, but I would love to have them back at any time. So moving right along to some more headlines, kind of picking up a little bit where we left off about the meat factories closing some of them closing during these COVID-19 times. Ooh, I'll give a big shout out to the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. That is not the right image. Hold on. I love them as well. Sorry, the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. Whoops. They have petitioned the U.S. government to shut down U.S. wet markets. So it's a common fallacy that they're only wet markets in foreign places. A lot of people associate that with Asia. Not true. There's some cultural traditions in the Hasidic world and in the Hispanic world. So it's not Asia, and it's certainly not outside of the US. It happens here a lot. So shout out to them. I do love them, headed up by Dr. Neil Barnard. He's wonderful.
I've been really trying. I've been signing petitions. I've been sharing it left and right. So everybody, if you get a chance, please go sign this petition, share it. That's the power we can do from our home. Super simple, but really makes a big impact. For sure. Are you there? Oh.
Hear me? Sorry. It really does make a big impact. And I love PCRM. That article came from VegEconomist. I love PCRM for all that they do. And Dr. Neil Barnard has been on my show on this channel, Plant-Based Business Hour and Awesome Vegans Influencer Series. And he's also been interviewed by Jane Unchained, Jane Velez Mitchell herself, twice on this channel. First of all, for all of that he does in his medical capacity, but then in his governmental advocacy as well. So I do love him. Okay.
He was featured in our issue last month for his new book, which I'm pretty excited. So people can go read VegWorld magazine for free. Doesn't cost a dime. And you can go check out that article too for our renewal issue last month.
I love that. Please check out vegworld.com and
VegWorld magazine. Sorry,
VegWorld. Thank you. VegWorldMagazine.com and also VegEconomist.com. I'll throw out a little shout out there. And of course, JaneUnchained.com for all these great news sources. Shout out to Dr. Neil Barnard. The book of which you speak is Your Body in Balance, the new science of food, hormones, and your health. And he is a wealth of knowledge, as we know. Okay, so I wanted to throw up another story. Let's see if I can get a headline in here. That's not what I'm ready for yet, but I'll throw it out. This is the Mile High Club. Tell me about them. I've just learned about them. Tell me all about them.
So great. So basically just think about a LinkedIn specifically for vegans, which obviously we already love LinkedIn. There's tons of amazing vegan forums and platforms there you can dive into. But I love what I'm trying to put it all together. Mile High Vegan Network is trying to do, or what they are doing. They do webinars literally every single week. They do virtual happy hours every Friday. I'm going to do it later today myself. But it is putting you in touch with only vegan brands, like legitimately whatever you need, whatever stage you're at in your vegan business. If you're just starting up or you've been around for years and you need a lawyer, well, they have a vegan lawyer. And you need maybe a graphic designer, well, they have a vegan graphic designer. They have anything you could ask for. You can even just get on there and ask questions. Hey, does anybody experience this? Hey, does anyone want to collaborate on this? You can get new clients. I mean, there's so many different avenues there. But what's nice about it is that you don't have to wade through the waters. You know, everybody's got a shared mission. You're all aligned in your morals. You all are doing it for the animals or for to the betterment of people's health or the environment. I mean, you're all in it together, and you're talking in a business perspective. So it's different than just like a social media network. It's not that. It's purely business, and I have found nothing but good, great connections from it. And so I really do advocate it for a lot. We are actually a VegWorld that is a technical partner, and so is my social media agency, Sprinkles Creative. We're also a partner. So really excited about this.
Well, so this is the problem with social media. I find that people reach out to me on Facebook, and then they reach out to me on LinkedIn, and then they reach out to me like halfway through the conversation on Instagram, and I have a problem following the conversation that's going on in 3 different places and only parts in each place.
Right.
But the founder did reach out to me. I can't find the chain because it's somewhere on one of the platforms. It's kind of lost. Yes. But I'm dying to try this. I'm so excited about this concept. It is so different than LinkedIn. It's really that networking, but right with the exact people you want to network with. So the work's already done. All the people you want to hang out with are right there.
He did the legwork for you. Yeah, it's great.
I love this. And you're saying that there's a Friday happy hour.
Yes, today at 4 p.m. Or I'm sorry, 5 p.m. CST. So I guess for Eastern Standard Time, that would be behind.
6.
6, yeah, 6.
And then for Pacific, that would be 3 o'clock.
Yes.
Okay. I will see you. So we're going to be together right here on Jane Unchained. And then I'm moving over 3 o'clock. I'm going to see you and everybody watching today. Thank you for all the people watching, by the way. 3 o'clock happy hour on Mile High. In fact, I will give a shout out here. Laura Russell, Tom Vincel, Machon Baines, Michelle Alfano, Manaz. I hope I'm saying that right. Manaz Tafreshi. Hello. Tina Montgomery. I hope I'm not missing anybody. I love you guys all for listening in. So thank you for that. Okay. So shout out to Mile High. Let me bring in some very positive news. This from Vegconomist again. So I'm going to read here. The Virginia governor vetoes a bill to censor the word milk on plant-based products. So according to the Good Food Institute, Virginia's Governor Ralph Northam has vetoed House Bill 119. If passed, the bill would have censored plant-based milk producers from using the word milk on its labels. So this is a big deal for free speech, but also for vegan plant-based businesses so that they can compete on a level playing field and can use the same words and technology that we all understand. So very positive.
I'm so happy to hear that. Yeah, it's kind of silly. It's really just trying to get us, they know that it's still milk. They know that it's actually better than the original counterpart, if you will. So it's silly. I'm glad this is being addressed and finally fixed because we're all evolving, and this is the milk that we're evolving too.
That is absolutely right. And what's interesting here is this is what's wrong? Virginia, but the same things are going on in California, and there's some southern states, and sometimes they're arguing about the word milk, sometimes they're arguing about the word butter, sometimes they're arguing about the word sausage. I know Tofurky is going through something right now about the term sausage, and the Plant-Based Food Association has been helping them take this on. Ultimately, I do think that each state will either overturn or throw out these issues because it is a free speech issue, and it is I guess I'll say capitalist issue in a sense that everybody needs a level playing field, and you have to be able to use the terminology that everybody understands to communicate your product. So very good news there. And I'll always say shout out to Good Food Institute because I do love them and for all the work that they do. Okay, so I think you have another fun headline that involves more virtual meetups. You're just all about the social. Let's face it, it's awesome.
I am a extrovert through and through. So yes.
Oh my God.
I love this. Yeah, so SoFlo Vegans, really excited about this. Next week, guys.
God, already. Okay, end of April, next week. SoFlo Vegans, tell me all about it.
Yeah, so really excited. So they're based in Florida, South Florida. So that's what SoFlo stands for. And the founder, Sean Russell, is really amazing. He put this together because they did have a lot of events lined up for this month. I mean, April is event month every year. It's always busy, right? But we cannot do that this year. So why waste the opportunity and not do anything? So he is putting together this virtual expo, super fun, Friday through Sunday next week. And what's going to be interactive about it is it's not just hey, let's come and talk on a Zoom call, which no hate on that. I'm just saying there's a little bit extra. So there's going to be a virtual scavenger hunt. So talk about fun and interactive. I mean, it's really taking it to get you excited about learning from new vegans or some of your favorite vegans that you followed for a while. Neil Barnard's actually going to be featured on there. A lot of really big names, such as Ingrid Newkirk. That's her right there. She's the founder of PETA. She's going to be on a live Q&A. I'm going to be talking about a bunch of cool topics. And then there's going to be opportunities to win free prizes. We're talking food, we're talking swag, goodies. And guess what? You can win free stuff and the event's free, literally $0. So it's a win-win situation. You've got nothing to lose. Mark your calendars. All you have to do is register online. That's it.
Okay, so I'm going to register immediately when this is up. I'm so very excited about this. I'm a little bit tired is the wrong word, but probably like you, I have received so many invitations to attend this class, attend this seminar, this online Zoom summit meeting, but I think this really stands apart from the crowd. It's really something much more interactive. I'm just, and I don't know Sean. So I'm very happy to meet Sean. Maybe he'll even come on the show. Who knows? So
he'd be great. Yeah,
he'd be great. So we're just keeping it, for all the negative news that is out there, of course, with COVID, we are keeping it light and lively. At least Courtney is, with all the great social news that she's got going.
I try.
Yes.
And I'm going to lighten spirits here.
I love that about you. So I'm going to throw up another headline, Burger King. So I'm going to, well, you can't read the title because it's too small, but soon I will let Courtney talk and I will take my picture out of it. You'll be able to see the headline a little bit better, but it says Burger King, vegans were unreasonably ignorant in failing to inquire about the cooking methods of their food. So they're asking for the lawsuit to be thrown out. For those of you who may remember, the Rebel Burger continues to cause controversy on both sides of the Atlantic. Here's the update. The Florida lawsuit, Burger King has asked the judge to dismiss the fraud claim as vegans were unreasonably ignorant. I get this from Vegconomist magazine. And meanwhile, in the UK, the Advertising Standards Authority receives complaints that Burger King's advertising is misleading. So Burger King has kind of taken it on the nose in both places. Courtney, what do you think?
That's insane. I've heard about this before this article came out, and I've actually had many conversations about it. I think it's all to preference individually as a vegan. When you're going out and obviously supporting the incremental improvements that these big chains are doing, I've considered it baby steps, right? It's baby steps. No, Burger King's not fully going vegan. That'd be amazing, but let's be real, it's not going to happen. So this is the stepping stone to get there, right? And so yes, it's going to be hard for them, speaking on a business perspective, for them to get a entirely new grill just for the Beyond Meat, or the Impossible, I'm sorry. And of course that's going to be difficult. So it's hard to ask them to do that, especially when they are fast food. The food's going out so fast, and the staff that they have, I'm sure they have 10,000 other things they're thinking about. And I don't know, it's hard for me. I personally have not bought anything from Burger King in my entire life. I don't think I've ever eaten there. So for me personally, I haven't invested any time or money there, but I think it's just for preference. And I think this is crazy and silly, and they're just finding another excuse to make fun of vegans. And that personally is just kind of like, really, it's a low blow.
Well, so it's funny. I think I take the other side here. I sort of want them to throw that lawsuit out.
It'd be interesting.
It'd be interesting, right? Yeah. I just sort of think I'm disappointed that the lawsuit, I'm talking about the American lawsuit, which is there was cross-contamination. One is claiming that there's cross-contamination because the Rebel Whopper one person is claiming is cooked. I'm paraphrasing, so I hope I don't have this wrong. Please Google if there's, if you think I've got this wrong. But my paraphrase remembering of the situation is that someone put a lawsuit because they were concerned about cross-contamination, that a Rebel Whopper would be cooked on a meat grill. And I think it is reasonable to expect the consumer to know that you're walking into a meat restaurant and that Burger King is a meat place. And I felt that it was kind of taking vegans a step back and opening the door for people to poke fun at them. So I'm not happy about that personally. I just speak for myself. And I do hope that that gets thrown out. But I will uphold what's happening in England. I uphold as if like I have the chance to uphold this, but I approve of the upholding that's happening in Britain when they say that the Advertising Standards Authority in the UK has upheld complaints from British vegans, concluding that Burger King's plant-based Rebel Whopper adverts are misleading because the ad implies that the burger is suitable for vegans, but they do use a mayonnaise that has eggs in it, so it's not fully vegan. So I do think when you've got any part of the product that isn't vegan and you call it vegan, forget the word vegan, you have to label your product correctly no matter what it is. So, okay. They got that one wrong, but I'll say for the US, if you're walking into Burger King, folks, it's happening on a meat grill. And I will say shout out to Burger King, and that the Burger King I went to, because I wanted to support Impossible Foods. I love them. Rachel Conrad, the chief communications officer, has been on this show. Shout out to Impossible Foods. I said, hey, you guys, I don't want my burger cooked on the grill with other meat. What can we do about this? And they said, we can microwave it. And I said, well, I'll take it. And it was great. It was fine. I did it. It was nice. So, that's that. So I'll take that down. But Burger King's kind of got it going on these days. Well, oh my gosh. This has been a quick rundown of the news. We did in 30 minutes, really, to boot. We touched on some big topics there. Let me ask you a couple exit questions that I love to ask everyone. First of all, I'll say shout out to you because you are the owner. You're not just the editor-in-chief of VegWorld magazine. You are the owner, which shout out to you for doing that. How long have you? Since last September.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I took it over, but I've been involved with VegWorld, working with them as a writer or marketing director or salesperson. I wore many hats because I'm so passionate about the mission since 2015. So I've been involved with VegWorld for 5 years now, and so taking it over was honestly just one of the best step ups, I guess, to be supportive of the company. And I'm always looking for ways to grow it. I mean, I'm so honored to be a part of this show because I'm such a fan of what you do. We've covered you many times in our news and on our social media. So it's just a proud moment now. So we're proud to be here.
Thank you so much. I super do appreciate that. And I love what you do. So let me ask you a couple fun exit questions. Yeah. You are obviously vegan. You have been for a while. Everybody has a vegan story, but I'm wondering, was there one moment where you knew, I'm never going back? That's it. I draw the line.
Yeah. It's funny. So I didn't fully go vegan when this happened because I was 13 years old. And I wasn't able to buy my own food, unfortunately. Obviously, my parents were doing that. But I went vegan when I went to college because that was when I was able to obviously buy my own food and take control of my life. And also, fun fact, I do want to shout out, I went to the University of North Texas, which is here in Benton, Texas. And I don't know if you've heard of, I totally just forgot his name, but he used to work for the Humane Society of America. And, I'm just totally, I wish I knew his name. Anyway, long story short, he created the very first all vegan cafeteria for a college campus. And it was at the school I went to.
And that was your cafeteria?
It was. So this was, when I went to school there, it had already been around for about a year or two. But it's now, I think, going on its 7th year. It's still thriving and amazing. You can actually go there as a non-student. It's called Mean Greens Cafeteria at the University of North Texas, and it's 100% vegan. Literally nothing in there is not vegan, and it is like a full buffet. So obviously, when I went to college and I had that at my disposal with my student meal plan, it was easy to be vegan. I was like, wow, this is amazing. And plus, I was able to buy all my food. But I do want to say the moment that I knew that I had to stop eating animals. I had to, just in my heart and my soul, was when I was 13. I was driving to my cousin's house, and anybody that's familiar with Fort Worth, Texas, there's lots of country lands, lots of pastures, lots of cows grazing. And so I just saw a cow grazing on the side of the road, as I was driving by, and I just wanted to hug it. Honestly, I was like, oh, look at that cow. He's so cute. I just want to hug him. And then it hit me like a ton of bricks. that cow was the same cow that I was eating in my McDonald's
Mm.
cheeseburgers. And I kid you not, I used to go to McDonald's at least once a week when I was a kid with my grandma. It was like our treat. Once a week, we'd go on a Friday. And I would just get a meat and cheeseburger. And it dawned on me, why would I want to hug an animal and also eat it? I wouldn't do that with my dog. I wouldn't do that with my cat. That's so strange. And so I told my grandmother and my mom, I cannot go to McDonald's anymore. I cannot eat burgers anymore. And they, of course, are so mad at me. They're like, why? You know what's wrong? And I was like, I just don't, it doesn't feel right. And I was 13. And from that day on, I stopped eating red meat was where it started. And then slowly but surely I added on the every other types of meat.
I love that you say that. Yes. Hashtag make the connection. Not everybody does make the connection, but it's a simple one. I mean, cows are big dogs. So hashtag make the connection. Okay. So kind of quick one-word answers to the extent that you can. Some are a little longer, but so to sort of the pithy answers on our way out, you who gets to see news from all sources all around the world, and then you curate that and decide what's going to go into VegWorld magazine, vegworldmagazine.com. I also shout out to JaneUnchained.com and VegEconomist.com.
Yes.
What are your predictions for the future? Because you see all the news coming in. So where are we going?
I think we're all going vegan. I mean, I maybe that's me just being very optimistic, but honestly, it's such an exciting time right now. Obviously, it's a terrible time right now too. I don't want to like make everything rainbows and kitty cats, but it's still a great time to transition.
So let me be more specific, because we vegans, oh, how we believe. But is anything like more than what we see from the outside as vegans? Like, okay, we're all going there, but is there anything like snacks are going to take a big jump, or vegan ready to go is going to make a huge, or fast food joints are going to be carrying at least 50% of the menu vegan, or something that we might not see from the outside? I don't know. It might be too tricky to call.
No, I'm seeing more. We actually just got an article today, like an hour ago, about a company that is adding more vegan options and actually taking off. I think she just said beef. They're taking it entirely off the menu and replacing it with Beyond. Not even like adding on Beyond, but just like taking off beef because they know it's so terrible, especially for us all right now, as we're trying to build our immune systems, and they're realizing that it's just not the way to go. And of course, it's making me so happy to see that. But I do think more people are cooking now. So yeah, they're snacking more now at home. But I think it's an exciting time to try more vegan recipes. So I'm seeing lots of vegan chefs grow right now. Their cookbooks are doing really well. They're thriving. And I'm so happy to see that on the horizon too.
Okay, so we will look for more vegan options being added and the meat options being taken off. That would be a huge step forward, most definitely. So I usually ask people, what do you wish you knew 10 years ago that you know now? But maybe you can revise that if you want to say even 5 years ago. It's up to you. But what do you really put into practice now, of course, beyond veganism, that you wish you knew 10 years ago?
I guess that's hard. I always try to just run at opportunities, I think, and I don't know, it's just, that's something I've always done, and just being very positive minded, just trying to see how I can collaborate with people. But I guess sometimes I have to take myself out of my vegan bubble, if you will, because as you just said, all I read is vegan news. All I consume is vegan things. So I guess maybe 5-10 years ago, it's just being more open-minded to other lifestyles, because 5-10 years ago I was vegan, so still. And so I guess just being open to other lifestyles, but also just finding ways to help people, even if they're not vegan, or if they're totally skeptical, or if they're totally just standoffish about it, is to, again, just to make it seem very inviting and colorful, because it is. It's a great life, living a vegan life. So
it's a wonderful thing to just stay open, regardless of who you're talking to, if they're meat eater or not. Just stay open and stay present in the conversation. Even if it's with a meat eater, you just don't know where things are going to go. So this is a little related to that last question, but it's kind of a quick off the top of your head. If you're having a bad day, and you're a very positive person like most vegans, but if you're having a bad day, is there one phrase that you say to yourself to get yourself back on track? For example, I always like to say, nose to the grindstone, eyes to the sky.
Ooh, I like that. Ooh, that's tough. Just to stay. It's funny. I had just did another interview the other day, and I said the same thing, and this is what's coming to mind. So I hope it applies. But my dad always said, to me at a very young age, and I've always carried this with me. You truly learn who you are from how you pick yourself up from rock bottom. And so I just want to put this out there that if anyone's feeling like they're at rock bottom or they're really close to hitting it, it's okay that you're there, because that just means that you're going to get stronger from it. It's like muscle building. You're going to tear this muscle and grow a better one. And I think that's just you should embrace it.
Yeah, I love that you say this, because all successful business people will tell you you have to fail, and you have to fail again and again and again. It's not a one-shot fail. It's usually like a 10, 20, 30-shot fail before you really have honed in your craft and your skill and your vision enough for it to succeed. So falling on your face, don't let it stop you. My last question for you before we give everyone off to a great weekend: what is your favorite junk food?
Ooh, that's hard. Does nachos count?
It does. It does.
I love nachos.
We send everybody off to a great weekend with nachos in mind. I want to thank, first of all, Jane Unchained and Vegconomist. That's where I sourced my articles. Courtney Garza, editor-in-chief of VegWorld magazine. Thank you for all that wonderful content, for bringing the VegWorld magazine news to the Plant-Based Business Hour, for being there, for being a voice of veganism, for just being a strong leader in your company. I do appreciate it. Everyone check out vegworldmagazine.com. Very wonderful to have you. I hope that you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you at the cocktail party for
That's right.
For Mile High
Vegan Network. Yes.
Mile High Vegan Network, everybody. We'll see you there. Happy weekend. I will be back next Monday at 1 p.m. for a great Awesome Vegans interview. We're going to switch from Plant-Based Business Hour to Awesome Vegans. I've got some celebs in the house. So everybody have a great weekend. See everybody Monday. Bye.
Bye.